Hello and welcome to the news segment on the Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo, but before we begin, here are the headlines. Governor Eno urges Nigerians to back Tinubu'S reforms to move nation forward. Akwa Ibom lawmaker seeks major parental leave reform. Transformer blasts kills 2 inmates, sparks outcry over custodial safety. And now the news in full. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoeno has called on Nigerians to rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he undertakes bold reforms aimed at tackling the country's most pressing challenges. The governor made the appeal on Thursday during a courtesy visit by officials of the Savannah Center for Diplomacy, Democracy and Development, led by its founder and former Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. Governor Eno assured Nigerians that President Tinubu is working tirelessly to address the nation's multidimensional problems, including insecurity, economic pressures, unemployment, and the effects of terrorism and banditry. The governor also appreciated Professor Gambari for taking interest in the Arise agenda of his administration. He highlighted ongoing efforts to sustain peace and security in Akwa Ibom while expanding the state's tourism potential through investments such as the Rice Palm Resort, the Smart Airport, hospitality facilities, and other strategic assets, positioning the state as a top destination in the Gulf of Guinea. He stressed improved synergy between the civil and public service sectors and directed the secretary to the state government, Prince Eno Bong-Ua, and the chief delivery advisor, Mr. Aniefjok Johnson, to develop modalities for enhanced collaboration and training. He lauded Professor Gambari for his distinguished service to Nigeria, spanning his tenure as an academic, Minister of External Affairs, UN Under-Secretary General, and later Chief of Staff to President Buhari, describing his life as a story of remarkable achievements. In his remarks, Professor Gambari praised Governor Eno for the warm reception and the peaceful ambience of Akwa Ibom State. He added that the center also provides capacity-building training for senior management and permanent secretaries across federal and state civil services in Nigeria. Member representing Ibiono Ibom State Constituency, Honorable Moses Essien, has moved a motion at the State House of Assembly seeking to increase maternity leave from 16 weeks to 24 weeks and paternity leave from just 14 days to 24 full weeks. Presenting the motion titled "The Need for Extension of Paid Maternity and Paternity Leave in Akwa Ibom State Civil Service," Essien said the current positions under the 2022 Public Service Rules are inadequate and fall below international health standards. The lawmaker, who also chairs the House Committee on Health, Nutrition and Food Security, cited recommendations from the World Health Organization and UNICEF, which encourage exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months to improve infant nutrition, immunity and maternal well-being. He also noted that several states such as Lagos, Enugu, Kaduna, Kwara and Cross River have already implemented the 6-month paternal leave policy. The motion was seconded by Honorable Lawrence Odoide of Ini constituency and received strong support from the Leader of the House, Right Honorable Otobong Bob, who described the proposal as timely and family-friendly. Presiding, the Speaker, Right Honorable Udeme Otong, urged Governor Umoeno to direct the head of service to issue a circular for immediate implementation once amendment is approved. The House further directed its committees on labor and productivity as well as health to work closely with the head of service to ensure compliance with the new policy when the new policy comes into effect. A devastating transformer explosion has claimed the lives of 2 awaiting trial inmates at the Uyo Custodial Center in Akwa Ibom State, leaving several others injured and raising fresh concerns about safety standards in correctional facilities. The incident, which occurred 2 weeks ago, was triggered by a faulty transformer situated close to the custodial center. According to officials, a high-tension cable suddenly snapped and fell directly on a section of the facility, instantly electrocuting the victims. The blast threw inmates violently from where they were seated, plunging the entire center into darkness and destroying computers, electrical appliances, and other equipment. Confirming the tragedy on Thursday, the Akwa Ibom State Controller of Corrections, Frank Okonko, described the incident as deeply unfortunate, noting that despite being held for serious offenses, including conspiracy, kidnapping, and armed robbery, the deceased were still presumed innocent under the law. Okonko explained that the inmates were immediately rushed to the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital by the facility's medical team but were pronounced dead on arrival. Two others survived with injuries. He added that the families of the deceased had been notified, with one already concluding paperwork to retrieve the body. However, the custodial service says no corpse will be released until ongoing investigations are completed. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papiros Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papiros Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. The Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has issued a strong directive to security and regulatory agencies to immediately clamp down on vehicles with covered number plates and those operating without registration across the state. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by a member representing Pat Enin State Constituency, Honorable Uwem Imoita, who raised alarm over the growing trend of motorists deliberately hiding their plate numbers or driving without proper identification. Imoita noted that many of the offenders are heavy-duty trucks and vehicles owned by construction companies operating within the state. He stressed that such practices are illegal and pose serious threats to public safety, especially because unregistered vehicles cannot be traced in the event of accidents or crimes. Acting on the motion, the House directed the Ministry of Works and the Fire Service to engage construction companies and ensure full compliance with safety and registration laws. The Assembly also mandated the Federal Road Safety Corps in the state to increase surveillance and enforce penalties on defaulting motorists. Lawmakers described the clampdown as critical to strengthening road safety, improving security, and ensuring accountability for all vehicles plying the state's highways. The spirit of entrepreneurship is rising in Akwa Ibom as the mayor of housing, My Ace China, has called on residents and leaders to arise and fish, urging an end to the culture of sharing money instead of empowering people with sustainable skills. Speaking at the commissioning of the Umbo Entrepreneurship and Craft Center in Inwang, China announced a massive sponsorship package for 30 out of the first 100 trainees, including 4.5 million for their 6-month training and another 4.5 million to equip them with machines and startup capital. He also revealed that he donated an initial 5 million naira to support the rebuilding of the facility, an initiative inspired by his aide Anthony Andemic, who heads the Entrepreneurship Committee. China praised Umbo local government chairman Honorable Sunday Etim, describing him as a new standard for leadership for empowering youths in batches of 100. He challenged political leaders across the state to stop handouts and start building skilled entrepreneurs. Also speaking, the special advisor to the governor on entrepreneurship, Mrs. Mayfling Amwana, announced that Akwa Ibom has created a massive fund that allows entrepreneurs to access up to 10 million naira each. She said work is ongoing to help at least 100 Mbo entrepreneurs successfully qualify. In his remarks, Chairman Sunday Etim said the project, once abandoned, has now been rebuilt into a fully equipped initiative. And that's all we have. And that's all we have on the news on Papiros Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.